tatta dhim tatakita dhim tadim tattam.
Animal archetypes play a really important part in allowing us to experience the intelligence of nature. What is interesting about animals as archetypes is that it's not really about imitating the animal. So we don't simply just imitate how the elephant is, or we're not trying to be a lion, but what the dance does is that it brings us some intelligence about the animals as archetypes are very interesting, particularly in terms of archetypal dance. We might think that we are simply imitating an animal. We may think that the dance is about looking like the lion or walking like the lion or walking like the elephant. But actually it's more than that. The dance, in fact, has a somewhat non-linear relationship, which means it's not simply mirroring what the animal is doing, because dance is always about the dynamics of its movement, but it is actually done in such a way that it brings us into a way to connect to nature. This is an incredibly generous offering of this archetypal traditions, is how can we participate within nature? So how can we be within the body of nature? How can we move and breathe and flow within nature, rather than an imitation where you are observing nature? So you're separate to nature and you're observing nature. This is much more than that. It's like you get into the skin of nature through all of the life forms of nature, through the trees or through the animals, through the birds. So every dimension of nature offers a teaching, and that teaching comes when we are not when we don't hold ourselves separate, but we have a way in which we can jump into that consciousness, or we can become part of the consciousness of that aspect of nature. So I'm going to show you or share with you the physicality of the elephant in archetypal dance, and if you so feel called, I invite you to do this with me, because truly talking about dance is not the same as dancing. So please join me in this invocation of the elephant physicality. The first thing we do with the elephant is about its massiveness. It's got this huge mass. So we open our lower body, and we drop the hips down. It's important. It's not just about bending the knee, but the hip, you feel the weight. It's like the weight of your hip drops down. You can hold, you use your thighs to hold the hips. And then you've got this feeling of this elephant, this massive weight of the elephant. And then you walk. The elephant's walk is very graceful. It swings the hips from side to side. I grew up watching elephants. Perhaps not all of us can say that we've done that, but I can tell you that they are very graceful. It's incredibly graceful how they hold that weightedness and they walk, swinging the hips. And one more dimension is the ears. So put your hands to your ears, lifting the arms up, and you've got this opening. So you've got the opening not just in your lower body, but also in that opening of the heart, which is the movement of the ears. Now, when I do this, what I feel is grounded, weighted, dropping that weight into the ground, connected to the earth. And I feel it's not just about the grounding, but it's about that opening of the heart as well. So at the same time, you're opening the heart. So you see there's this multi-dimensional constellation going on here. Grounded strength, grace, flow, that element of water. And then you've got the opening of the heart. It's not a retreating groundedness. You don't just disappear into the earth, but like the elephant, moving in the world with this grounded, heartfelt grace. This is a practice that I do whenever I feel very much in my head, when my head gets very noisy, and whose head doesn't in these days with computer and social media, and even, sometimes I love listening to podcasts, and sometimes I can do that far too long, and I feel like there's a lot of people's voices in my head talking. I just drop into this. I just come into my studio and I just light some candles and I just put on some music, not rhythmic music necessarily, but something a little bit open, even sounds of nature. And I just do this for about 5 to 10 minutes, just reconnecting with that groundedness in my own body. And it really shifts my consciousness. So I hope you will find this useful, this to walk in your own life as gracefully and as grounded as the elephant walks the earth.